Morning Year 8, so we continue with our exploration of Gothic fiction this lesson. So a little bit to see what you can remember from yesterday. So in what year was the first Gothic fiction novel released? What is the difference between Gothic with a capital G and Gothic with a lowercase g? And can you remember any of the Gothic features from the image in the last lesson? Okay then, so in today's lesson we're going to have a little bit more of a closer look at Gothic literary conventions. So you're going to watch this clip and I'd like you to make notes under the following headings. So settings, characters and themes. There are bonus marks available if you can spot any spelling and grammatical errors in the video. Okay, and actually just as a point, make sure that you do this task really carefully because this is going to obviously feed into our next couple of lessons. So hopefully you've learned a little bit more now about Gothic literature and their conventions. Next lesson we are going to do a big lesson going through all of the different conventions. So don't worry if you didn't manage to get lots of them down because we are going to go through each of them individually. Actually, so despite the fascination with death and decay, Gothic conventions are prevalent in 21st century popular culture. So in groups or on your own, unfortunately, at home, I'd like you to see how many modern day examples you can come up with. So anything that you know includes these Gothic features that we've just looked at. Hopefully you've had some time to think about any modern day examples of Gothic text that you can come up with, okay? I've gone for ones that are films, because I thought it'd be a nice activity for us for you to have a look at a couple of these, okay? Obviously I've not put YouTube links in for each of them because that would mean that Show My Homework would be full. But if you do go to YouTube yourself and you just type in Wuthering Heights trailer, then it'll bring up a little trailer that you can watch for the film and you can have a look at for some of those Gothic conventions you've just explored in those. So Wuthering Heights is a novel that was turned into a film and it's been turned into TV dramas as well. It's very, very Gothic in its themes. It's a love story with a little bit of a supernatural element to it. The Addams Family, I'm sure you've all heard of, very Gothic in its features. Obviously, the idea is that the Addams Family are a Gothic family. Edward Scissorhands, I'm sure you've all heard of, very popular at Christmas time. Again, very Gothic in its setting and in some of the things that happen. Frankenstein, I'm sure you've all heard of. There's a really good version of Frankenstein that has Daniel Radcliffe in. So for those of you who like Harry Potter, that might be a good one. Sleepy Hollow is a really old-fashioned horror film. But again, it's got lots of those Gothic conventions in. The Underworld and Van Helsing are obviously more modern adaptations of kind of vampire hunters, but again, very Gothic in their settings and in their storylines. Harry Potter actually comes under the Gothic fiction. Obviously, at times it has very kind of Gothic features to it, doesn't it? The Corpse Bride is obviously an animated version, and Nightmare Before Christmas. They've both got a very Gothic feel to them. The Woman in Black and Sweeney Todd are really good. Again, horrors. So if you're a bit afraid, maybe don't watch those two. Snow White and the Huntsman, which is obviously a really, really good adaptation of Snow White, and Maleficent. So all of these, you probably didn't even realise were Gothic when you were watching them previously, but I'd like you to have a look at a couple for me. You don't need to look at them all, obviously that would take forever, and have a look at the trailers for me and see if you can recognise some of the Gothic features that are present in them. So based on the information that obviously you've learned over the last couple of lessons, what I'd like you to do is have a go at one of the following two tasks, okay? So the first one is to design your own Gothic setting. So you're going to draw your creation and then annotate it with detailed descriptions, okay? Or you can design a Gothic monster or villain and then you're going to use a word bank or thesaurus to describe that character, okay? I want to know what you've learned about the Gothic so far, so obviously we can build on that in our next couple of lessons together. So please make sure you send these to me. There's a couple of you I've not seen any work from other than the quizzes, and obviously I have asked for bits of work. So do share them with me, and obviously that's going to feed into our next couple of lessons together. I hope you enjoy this creative task, and there is still a Show My Homework quiz to complete.